Have you ever wondered what happens when someone looks at a tradition that's nearly 100 years old and just decides, we can do better? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. This is the story of Clearwater Distilling, a company that's throwing out the old rulebook to create something totally new. So, let me ask you this. What if your favorite drink wasn't designed to fit into a neat little box labeled rum or gin or whiskey? What if the one and only goal was just to make something that tastes absolutely, undeniably amazing? That question right there is the entire philosophy behind Clearwater. Now, to really get why that question is so revolutionary, you first have to understand the problem they saw in the spirits world. It's a world built on tradition, sure, but sometimes those traditions can feel more like a cage. And this quote just nails it. The thing is, most of the rules that define what makes a rum or a vodka, they were written way back in the 1930s. We're talking almost a century ago. The world has changed, our tastes have changed, but the rulebook pretty much hasn't. It really all boils down to two totally different ways of thinking. On one hand, you've got the big industrial method. How do we pump out the most alcohol in the least amount of time for the biggest profit? It's all about efficiency. But then you've got the craft way, which asks completely different questions. How can we create the most mind-blowing flavor? How do we give someone an experience they've never had before? And here's the bottom line. Those old rules just stifle creativity. Imagine trying to create a masterpiece, but someone hands you a box with only 8 basic crayons and says, that's all you get. It forces everyone to color inside the same lines. Clearwater decided it was time to create some new colors. So you see the problem. So what did they do about it? Well, instead of just working around the old rules, they decided to build something entirely new from the ground up. And this says it all, doesn't it? Defiantly. But it's not about being different just to be different. It's about being creative. It's about making something that stands on its own, something you can sip and just go, wow. Okay, I've literally never tasted anything like this.
So here it is, their simple but incredibly powerful solution. Just forget the categories, forget the labels, and start everything with one single question. What tastes amazing? Every decision they make comes back to answering that one thing.
So you're probably wondering, okay, that's a great philosophy, but how do they actually do it? Well, it's not just talk. It's all backed up by a super meticulous process built on 3 key pillars. These 3 pillars are creative yeast selection, using only the best ingredients, and a totally unique approach to distillation. Let's break each of those down. First up, yeast. Now, a lot of big distilleries use what's called turbo yeast. It's basically yeast on steroids. It works super fast to create alcohol, but it often kills the flavor. Clearwater does the exact opposite. They take their time and handpick specific yeast strains that actually add to the flavor, creating all these rich, complex notes. For them, amazing taste is worth the wait. Next, ingredients. And this is just common sense, right? If you want to create something exceptional, you have to start with exceptional stuff. There are no shortcuts. We're talking the freshest, highest quality ingredients they can find. And when you're not planning to add any sugar or other junk later on, you can't hide mediocre ingredients. That quality has to shine through from the start. And finally, how they distill. You've probably heard that the more times you distill a spirit, the better or purer it is. Well, that's a myth. Sure, it can raise the alcohol content, but it can also strip away all the interesting flavors. Clearwater found what they called the sweet spot, a process that actually preserves all that amazing character from the ingredients instead of sacrificing it just for a higher proof. Okay, so you take this radical idea, you combine it with this incredibly detailed, flavor-focused process, and what do you get? You get spirits that don't fit in a box. You get spirits without borders. So let me introduce you to Josephine and Lorenz. These are 2 of their flagship creations, and they are the perfect example of this whole defiant philosophy. They're even named after some famous historical rule breakers, which is just perfect. Josephine has such a cool origin story. It literally started with the question, I wonder what would happen if we distilled sangria. What they ended up with is this incredible spirit that's kind of like a fruit brandy, an eau de vie, mixed with the sugarcane base of a rum. So what is it, a rum? A brandy? Nope, it's just Josephine. Then there's Lorenz. This one starts out like a rum, but then they pull a move straight from the gin maker's playbook. They use something called a botanical basket to infuse the spirit with organic cinnamon and vanilla during distillation. It's not a spiced rum where flavor is added later. The flavor is built right in, creating something impossibly smooth and rich. Okay, this is all fascinating stuff. But let's get to the most important question, right? Why does any of this matter to you when you're looking for a great drink? What's the real payoff? Well, here's why this is a game changer. First, you're getting to taste flavor combinations you literally can't find anywhere else. They're designed to be so smooth and clean, you can just sip them neat. No ice, no mixers necessary. And this is huge. They're naturally sugar-free and have absolutely zero additives. No artificial flavors, no colorings, nothing. You are tasting pure, unadulterated craft.
And hey, it's not just me saying this. The experts totally agree. Clearwater has won medals in every single competition they have ever entered. That's just wild. It's the ultimate proof that sometimes defying tradition is the best way to achieve excellence.
So, I guess there's only one question left. Are you tired of the same old categories? Are you looking for a flavor that refuses to be put in a box? Are you ready to drink defiantly?